Good morning. It's Friday. Friday, and it's the first day I'm going to work. Alright. So, we got back, I got back yesterday, as you saw, and we had some stories to share, but I wanted to make sure you got them in a pleasant state of mind. Although it is morning, I'm still tired. But no, so get this. First story on the way down. We'll try and go in chronological order so you help me out. So first story on the way down, flying from Toronto to Pittsburgh.
On Tuesday.
It's a direct flight. It's barely an hour. So it's like an hour and hour 10, hour 15 flight. So it's pretty simple. So first of all, we're on this little tiny plane, actually a propeller plane, and that's fine. I just hadn't been on one in a while, so that was kind of funny. But at the back of the plane, it's so small that there's actually no like bathroom or additional thing past the seats. And the last row is actually a bench seat of five seats wide. So like, it's 2 and 2 and 2 and 2 all the way back. But then the last one, there's 5, so there's a middle seat. So that's kind of funny. And I got stuck in between. Pardon me. I got stuck in between. I wasn't in the middle seat. The flight was kind of fairly empty, but I got stuck in between this guy who is a magazine writer, and we check in or get back to the hotel and go to bed, and I get a wake up call at 4 a.m. and that was unpleasant. But anyway, I'm checking into my flight, and I look it up online, the web check-in, and it says my flight is from Pittsburgh to LaGuardia, and then LaGuardia to Boston. And I freak out. I was like, oh my god, did I book the wrong flight? Like, everybody else is going to be on a different flight. I was freaking out in the elevator, and then I realized I went to the email, and it said, no, it was Pittsburgh to Boston. So they changed that flight on us. So it's just like, man, like, the whole point of leaving it at 6:30 in the morning was because it was direct, and we could, we had a whole bunch of meetings to do in Boston, get the full day in, and be good to go. So now we're not going to get into Boston until like 11:30. And meanwhile, there was actually a second flight at 8:30 that was direct from Pittsburgh to Boston, and it would have got in at like 10. And it was like, damn it! So not only are we getting in later, we could have slept in a lot more. So anyway, so we get on the first leg of that, get into LaGuardia, and everything was fine. That flight was okay. We get off that plane, and we're walking to our next gate. We had about an hour and 20-minute layover, but then as we're walking by, we see another flight to Boston, and it was taking off in 12 minutes. And we're like, can you think we can get on that? And I was like, why not? Like, let's try. So we asked the lady, and like, yep, sure, lots of room. And so they just like that, moved us up, which was great.
Only because you didn't have checked bags.
Yep, and that was a conversation the day before was about checked bag. How I was traveling light, and the guy I was meeting was traveling light, and whatever. And he was like, you always got to do on business because you got to be flexible, and it's always the first question they ask. And there was actually a lady in front of us trying to do the same thing, get on this earlier flight, and the flight crew guy asked if she had any checked bags, and she was like, yep. He was like,
sorry.
Yep. And then
back of the line.
So then he gets us, and any checked bags, and the guys and I are just like, nope. So I was like, boop, 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 on. So that was awesome. Probably the quickest layover I've ever had, because it was literally 2 gates down. Like, it was so, walked off one plane, 10 steps, and walked on the other. It was pretty awesome. And then, unfortunately there, as we're ready to taxi, the plane, there was a plane behind us in taxi that something happened with its nose, like I don't know, the nose of the plane fell off or something.
I would hope not.
Yeah, but well, it sounded like pretty bad the way they said it. I don't think it was actually as bad as the words made it sound. But yeah, so it had to get towed off, and we had to sit there, and we were just stuck. And that was unfortunate. It was going to be ironic if that delay would have delayed us more than just waiting for the original layover, but it ended up only being about half an hour, which wasn't too bad. And then we got in, and we were good to go, and then I made it home. Then the Boston to Toronto, nothing fancy happened there, I don't think.
Yeah, it did.
What?
They almost bumped you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, they were just complaining about the flight being full the whole time. They made about 15 PA announcements being like, hey guys, you know, this flight is really very full. It's very, very full. You know, we're gonna have to you know, make some adjustments.
Guys.
Gonna have to make some adjustments. So, because the following passengers, please come up. And my name is called amongst probably about 6 or 7 others. And I ran up there. I was like, yeah, what? And she was just like, oh, do you have any carry-on bags? I was like, yeah. And she was like, let's see them. And I was like, no, they're just little ones. And because I get carry-on that'll fit under the seat, because then you don't have to worry about the overhead. And that was the concern, is that they were like, we're not going to have room for overhead. So they wanted to check bags. They wanted people to bump to the next to allow for other changes. I assume they oversold or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, it was that was another fun thing. But I was just like, no, I'm going home. I am going home.
Coming home to the wifey.
Mm-hmm.
And then he made it.
And I made it.
So the lesson here is Dave should not travel without wemi.
I don't think that's the lesson.
I think that's the lesson.
I see. It was just funny to have so many. I thought, you know, like nothing critical or anything, but it was so many extremes in terms of positive experiences and negative experiences. Like turning around while almost to your destination, that sucks.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like getting you know, that addressed so well. That was pretty good.
That just reminded me of that flight. Remember that flight that was, I think it was going to London or something, and they pretty much hit like somewhere in like British airspace, and then turned around to come back to Toronto.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
was that terrorist or something?
I can't remember what it was.
I feel like somebody made a threat.
But yeah, it was something stupid. It was like an 8-hour flight. They were like 7 hours in, and they had to turn around. I would have been so pissed.
Yeah, that would be much worse.
I would have been so pissed. Like, really? We're there, guys. Like, I'm not doing this again.
Yeah. Percentage-wise, mine was worse, but time-wise, not so bad.
Yeah.
And an extra hour wasn't the end of the world. Or extra, I guess it ended up being an extra 2 hours.
2 hours, yeah.
Wasn't the end of the world. Still made it on time.
Yeah.
Missed lunch.
Did you?
All I had was a bagel.
Oh, poor thing.
Yeah.
So, there are the Dave Chronicles, the Dave Travel Chronicles.
Mm-hmm.
We are at work. So, we will chat with you guys. We're going to Mark and Candace's today. I don't know if we told you guys that. We're going to see little Jacob. We haven't seen him in a while. Pretty much, we haven't seen him since he was born. No, I'm joking. But it's been like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months
came over, yeah,
since we've seen them. Yeah. So we get to see them today. Oh, I got a message her actually and asked what we should bring. But anyways, we'll talk to you guys on the flip side. We are home from Mark and Candace's. Unfortunately, we didn't record it all. And yeah,
Jacob was scared of us, so he couldn't.
We didn't want to show him in a negative light. But it was a good time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. It was a good time. It's like past midnight, so we're pretty tired. We're going to go to bed. We have a wedding tomorrow. Did we already share this?
I don't think so.
I don't know if we did, but we have a wedding tomorrow. Jess and Sean's wedding, so getting all dolled up for that. And that should hopefully be a little bit more exciting than today. Well, not that. Mark and Candace were exciting. Just our vlog wasn't really anything. That's all I was referring to.
I see.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yes.
At the site of the Canadian Open.
Cool.
Pretty fancy.
Pretty fancy schmancy.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, so on that note, we're going to say goodnight, and we will see you guys in the morning.
Good night.
Deuces.
And God bless.
Sayonara.
Hello.
Hey guys.
Good afternoon.
Happy Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Almost good evening, actually.
Yeah.
It's 5 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. So let's go get wedding.
That's here.
So let's go get wedding drunk.
Yep. So it is the day of Sean and Jess's wedding. We've already done the ceremony. Mm-hmm. You guys already know it's true to our nature for weddings. We could not record before because it was a rush. No.
No what?
Don't give me that.
You couldn't find your shoes. You still don't have your shoes. This one's on you. Again, as always.
I see.
You were doing well. I'm not gonna lie. You were doing really, really, really well.
It was time to go, and then my shoes were nowhere to be found.
And that was an extra 10 minutes.
It was not.
It actually was.
Okay.
Because we were downstairs at 2:27 and we left at 2:37.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got there on time, so all was well. We're off to the reception now.
Had to water some plants for Fletch.
Yep.
Buddy.
Yep, so we're off to that, and that is at the golf course. Hopefully that should be nice. Unfortunately, it's kind of cold today for my taste for a wedding. It's like, what, 22 or something?
It's a beautiful day, but
it's when the sun is out, it's gorgeous. But the second the sun goes away, it's just like, it's a little...
Yeah, it's only 23, so that's like 74, I think.
Yeah, so it's a little too cold for a wedding, for a summer wedding for me. Yeah. Because, like, you're wearing, like, summer clothes, but it's just like, I'm cold.
The funny thing, though, is, like, the same day, like, August 8th, it's just, right, it's August 8th? Yeah. August 8th in another year could be 38 degrees.
Yeah,
so it's
like,
just,
you never know what you're going to get.
I'd rather have the 23, personally, but, yeah, because oh, man, I was still sweating in the church.
Yeah. Dave's always sweating, so he doesn't count.
Anyway,
yeah, we're not matching today, unfortunately.
No, I don't have any pink.
Dave doesn't. It's not pink, it's coral.
Oh.
Dave doesn't have any coral ties or ties with coral in them. So, we might as well be single. Might as well. But yeah, looking forward to the dinner, the drinks, the music, and all the good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was so awesome because we've been to like a number of weddings in the last, 2 summers.
Excuse me.
And I've seen brides get a little, emotional, but I'm going to say today was the most emotional I've seen of a bride. And I was just like, oh, that's so cute. I want to cry.
Of all the people, it does make sense to be Jess.
Yeah. She was very emotional, so that was kind of sweet.
It was, unfortunately, we couldn't see her.
No.
We were more looking at the groom, Sean.
Yeah.
And
we couldn't hear her either because she was speaking so low.
But we did hear, it was just the vows, and they were, I guess they were like the standard vow kind of thing or whatever. And, but yeah, it was just the first 2 words got out of her mouth, and then
she's like, she took a moment and like wiped her tears, and they were like, it wasn't like a drop, it was like a real cry.
What I think is funny is Sean just, like if I was looking at you and you were crying like that, like I'd cry right away. I'd just like, oh my god. But he's just like, yep. All right. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, so it was good. It was a good ceremony. It was at a Catholic church, so Dave had his rehearsal from the last wedding we went to that was also at a Catholic church. So he learned to shut his mouth and let others speak first, and then
and then see, I was going fine, and then the Lord's Prayer still got us both.
Lord's Prayer came on, and then
switched it up.
At the end, it's like, for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, and then the priest just like did his own thing. I was like, wait, hold up, what?
So you did, because I didn't even hear what he said. So I didn't
it was like, for thine is the kingdom, the power, the glory. And I was like, what are you saying?
Yeah,
Where'd you get this version?
I just stopped. I was like, well.
Yeah, I stopped. I was like, well, I can't. I don't know this part.
Yeah, it's funny. And it's like, I don't know what's appropriate. Like, should I? Because I'm not Catholic, and like I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. And so should I just not participate? And then I feel like that's incorrect.
Yeah, I think like because it's still you still believe in God, and they believe in God, so.
Yeah, but it's funny because it just sounds so silly. Just like, I'm sorry.
I think if there's something being said that you disagree with or something, then don't participate. You know what I mean? Like the Lord's Prayer, we agree with, so it's like, all right, I'll say that. Which
is not the way they say it.
Yeah, the end part we disagreed. Yeah. We stopped.
But what was his name? What is he? A pastor?
No, priest.
Priest. Was he? How did he introduce himself? Priest John?
I don't remember his name, but yes.
His name was John,
okay.
But I didn't think it was Priest John.
Okay.
But anyway, his name was John, and he was just
Father John.
Father John. Yeah. There it is, obviously, yeah. But he was just having a great time.
Oh yeah.
Holy! I think he drank 12 Red Bull.
But the best part, guys, is why aren't you over there?
Oh, I don't know.
We could have been in the carpool lane, and Dave has us here with the rest
also I can't get over there.
Of the commoners.
Okay, just calm down.
There. Now we can't.
Sure, but we're almost there.
Anyways, so Father John decided to tell a story when he started the wedding. And he was like, yeah, you know, back when I was at another church or something.
When he first started his parish,
he was going to marry a couple. And he's like, you know, usually the bride is always the one calling and doing stuff because women do all the planning. He's like, but then one day the groom called and it's just like, oh dear, like, you know, the groom never calls. So the groom called and they set up a meeting. This was 2 weeks before the wedding.
Yeah.
And the groom came to the meeting and the groom's like, all right, Father, here's what I want to know. What is love? What does love mean? And Father John was like, OMG! Like, what?
He didn't know. And then it just, you know, you're thinking he's building up to some, like, you know, some remarkable opening, like epiphany kind of thing. Oh no, it sounded like the wedding got called off.
Because he's like, pretty much love it. So he read the passage in the Bible where it says, there's no greater love than to lay down your life for another.
For one's friend.
Yeah. So he's like, so, you know, that is love. So he's like, would you, so he said, he asked the guy, would you lay down your life for her?
He's like, yep.
And like the guy said, yeah. He's like, but I can tell you, he was not ready and he will not lay down his life for her. We're like, so did they not get married? This is
that
awkward.
was a weird story to share.
Yeah, like, this is awkward. So that was kind of awesome.
Yeah. Other than that, he was great.
Yeah.
But that was the worst story. Oh my.
We're both just like, so did they not get married? Or did they get married, but the guy's like, nah, I ain't dying for you. There's a limit to this.
Awkward.
Like, yeah, still awkward. But good time. Good time. We're almost at the reception, I think.
We are almost there.
When we get out of the car, I want to show you guys how spectacular my husband is looking today.
I'm not looking that good. I'm wearing my suit that I don't really like.
You're looking spectacular.
Well, thank you, baby.
That's what I expect to hear.
Okay.
Just take a compliment.
Okay. Your lips got all shiny.
Yes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a lipstick on before, guys, and it was really like I kind of layered on a couple of different shades, and it looked good. But then just with my dress, it just totally clashed. And I did this like as it pulled up to the church. I was just like, it is what it is at this point. So I just kind of like took some. We didn't have any tissue in the car, so I took a receipt and dabbed it on.
Dabbed it? Is that what you did to the receipt? The receipt was violated. My goodness. I wish we had recorded that, actually. Holy jeez.
Anyways, and I got... The point is, it muted the cut. Like, I got it down because I can't take it all off. It's just, the paper is too hard and all of that. So it couldn't all come off. So I was like, what do I do? But then I realized it was a nice muted color. So I put some lip gloss on and bow.
Okay, we're almost there.
So there's my husband looking pretty spectacular. Look at him go. Bow pow. Okay. No butt flashes.
Why not?
Because. Here's my outfit.
Here's wifey.
Excuse the shoes, but here's my lovely outfit.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently we're that way though.
Are we?
Yeah.
How do you know?
Because I just heard them say it.
Okay, cool.
And I think they were at the wedding.
Okay, we'll say bye.
Okay.